Well, this past spring at the New York Stock Exchange, Madrona celebrated companies named to its IA40 list. It's a collection of top private firms building with and enabling artificial intelligence and Gen AI that it says will shape the future. One company recognized is AI coding platform Qodo. Its co-founder and chief product officer, Dedy Kredo, sat down with JD Durkin to speak more about his company's latest efforts. Let's take a look.
Qodo is an intelligent coding platform for complex enterprise code bases. So we help enterprises embrace Gen AI and basically get a lot more productive, but also do that while maintaining high standards for code quality, making sure that code is well tested, well verified, secured, and is aligned with their best practices.
And as a co-founder of the company, tell me what it was in your background that led you to the start of the company.
Yeah, so code quality was always kind of near and dear to my heart. I was always part of like large enterprise organizations. I was also working at different startups and always like making sure that code is of high standards and there are no bugs that go into production was a big thing for us. Yeah.
Dedy, what is one lesson as a co-founder that you wish you had learned a little bit sooner?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. So I think like one thing you gotta always do as a founder is stick with your beliefs. You gotta have an insight and you gotta go for it. You gotta go with it. Like you can't like constantly change. So that's like one thing that I would say. You gotta have an insight and you gotta also expect where, like especially in the AI world, you gotta expect where the models are gonna get to in the next like, few months, and you gotta build for that.
Yeah. Tell me about how you feel this technology, code generation as a space overall. How do you expect this to most impact the average person, even over the course of just the next few years, as we're in this era of emerging AI technologies and trends that are shifting seemingly every day?
Yeah, I think so. So first of all, it's very exciting times, like to be experiencing this, right? And I think that we all, like software basically runs the world. Like look at us, around us, right? This is all software, right? Eventually. So I think we're gonna see an explosion of software. We're gonna see so much creativity because of AI, because of the ability to generate software a lot faster. We're gonna just see an explosion of ideas of software that get created. I think it's going to be an economic boost that we're going to see, like a boom in the economy because of it. So I think this is how we're all going to experience it. Like we're going to just see, first of all, the software that we use every day by our bank, by whatever like apps that we use all the time. It's going to get better and better, a lot faster. And then we're also going to get to experience a lot of different new types of like ideas that just get created.
Dedy, what is the biggest misconception about artificial intelligence writing code?
I think like for me, the biggest misconception is that like people think that the models are going to be able to just do it all. And I think you've got to really build a system around it, especially for complex enterprise code bases. You can just vibe code your way to like the code being like in production for like the New York Stock Exchange, as an example. So like, I think that's like a misconception. You got to make sure that you have the right processes to review code, to make sure your code is aligned, is according to your best practices, well tested, well reviewed. And I think it's not like, this is an area that people haven't been paying enough attention to.
Is it at all difficult to trust engineers, developers, or anyone in the space to trust a machine's code?
I think like if you put the right processes in place to test and verify code, you can actually make it work. This is really what we're trying to do here at Qodo.
Absolutely. Yeah. I always like people, or asking people in your situation to peel back the layers. Tell me about the sorts of things that you're working on down the pike. I know there's a lot that you probably can't talk about, but give us some sense about the new initiatives at Qodo that most excite you right now.
Yeah. So we're going to build, we're building the Qodo Studio right now, which is essentially like a layer for orchestrating and managing agents at scale. It allows the developers to orchestrate agents, to create custom agents for specific workflows, define the triggers for these agents, define like the tools and the permissions, and do all of that at scale, and then be able to review code at scale. and make sure that there are no issues that get introduced into production because of like AI generated code, essentially.
And finally, tell me about any of the expectations you have for this underlying technology, even in just the next 3 to 5 years, and what most excites you about how you feel Qodo is uniquely positioned to address those challenges.
Yeah, great question. So I think over the next like year and even like 3 to 5 years, we're going to see rapid advancements in the capabilities of AI models. As reinforcement learning is now being harnessed to improve these models in verifiable domains like coding, we're going to see capabilities of the models like getting increased really rapidly. And I think with that, the bottleneck is like as models get better and better writing code, the bottleneck will be around how do I align these models? How do I make sure that they code according to my best practices? How do I make sure that like when so much more code gets generated, that it's actually tested at scale as well, that it's aligned with the requirements, that there are no missing edge cases. All of that, to be able to solve that at scale for complex enterprise code, I believe that Qodo is very, very well positioned to do. So yeah, I'm just very excited to be able to enable enterprises to move at the pace of startups. In order to do that, you gotta solve both sides, the generation and the verification side.